All right, thanks there, Rebel Nation. Well, another tough 5A opponent for the Rebels as they take on the Plainview Bulldogs. Rebels knocked them off last year by 20 points. Trying to see if they can take them this time. Dick Bivens.
That's right. We'll pick it up here in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs came out ready to play. Carson Hawk going to link up with Keyshawn Horn for a 27-yard touchdown pass. The PAT would be good, but Tascosa, they ain't going to like that. Connor McEnall. We saw him do this last week. No problem here with his legs. He runs in the 29-yard score, tie up the game at 7. Then second quarter, Plainview on top now by a field goal. And the Rebels, Davion Gray, going to get the pitch and pick up the big first down. Then on the ensuing play, McEnall to the king himself, Mr. Doru. He gives Tascosa the lead 14-10 as Tascosa going to roll in this one 42-24. Now we have a familiar face here from News Channel 10. Matt Hamilton was on the call there out at Dick Bivens. He joins us live now on the phone. Matt, I was out there for the first half. It was a pretty tight competitive game. How did the Rebels pull away there in the second half?
Well, they came out on the gate in the second half and scored a touchdown on 4 plays, and it put them up 28-10. But shortly after that, it was back-to-back touchdowns by the Bulldogs from Plainview that cut it to a 4-point lead. But in the end, Connor McEnall was just too much. He had 3 total touchdowns on the night, 2 in the second half alone. But the biggest play was probably late in the second quarter that really swung the momentum in Tascosa's favor going into the half. It was Tafari Gomillion scored a 50-yard touchdown after a big stop by the defense. So all in all, a total team effort. I think we saw some shakiness on special teams from the Rebels, but for the most part, a very impressive win as they improve now to 2-0.
That's right, and I know, Matt, I talked about with you this earlier, the running backs on the Rebels, certainly people to look out for. You had Lamarion Smith and King Daru. Are you impressed there with their offensive weapons?
Yeah, they've got a stable of backs, but it's to no surprise, to be honest. Coach Plunk always does a great job of having multiple ball carriers to keep his running backs fresh. I think he rotated 3 different fullbacks throughout the night. I saw 4 or 5 different running backs, but I think the person who made the biggest difference was certainly Connor McEnall. He operates that offense very well. He has a great understanding of how to run it. There was a few touchdowns that were scored tonight that were because of how well he was running it at quarterback. He was such a good threat on the ground that it caused him to gain a lot of attention, which freed up his runners on the outside. So all in all, a big win for Tascosa, but certainly keep your eyes on number 7. He's a pretty good quarterback, and I think a big threat to the rest of District 2-6A.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the wrap-up. Again, he was on the call out there at the game. Going to be joining us a little bit more coming up this season as well, but we still got a lot more to come here on the wrap-up. As I mentioned, we're going to go to the Land of Enchantment, check in on some of those scores.
Big games in New Mexico tonight.
Yeah, New Mexico, Oklahoma as well, and going to be re-airing those awards. Well, don't go anywhere. You're watching the wrap-up on News Channel 10 too.